Sleeping with someone from work, naughty or nice. Going after someone else's partner. Ghosting people while dating. So, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Vero. I help you all glow, grow, and thrive through those toxic relationships and jealousies in your life. And we heal together in this channel because we're always growing and we're always learning. So this episode is exciting today because I get to do a fun little segment with you all where you'll get to learn a bit of advice while also hearing a little bit of tea. And that's the nice in between, the sweet spot that I like to go for. This doesn't shy away from, those red flags and those controversial dating questions. And I am happy to go over those. I am outspoken and I am ready to tell you all my opinion. And sometimes you might feel offended by this, and that's just the way of the world. But I also hope that this shines light on the people who need it. So let's get straight into it. So this segment is called Naughty or Nice because it is close to the holidays and we want to, spice things up a bit before the end of the year, give you that mulled wine feeling, that spicy feeling. But anyways, these questions are questions that are, like I mentioned before, controversial. People's opinions tend to sway with these questions. It's either one or the other. And sometimes there are in-between answers that a lot of people gravitate towards. But I think these questions do polarize a lot of people. The rules are, and the rules being, I'm the only one really playing this because you guys are watching, is that I get to rate if something is naughty or nice. And naughty being, I don't agree or I disagree with this point of view and I'll provide my thoughts. And nice being, I do agree and what my thoughts are behind that. And that's where it gets juicy because you guys get to hear stories about my own experiences. Some may actually be the opposite of my answer, even though I have done it, I don't agree with it, or vice versa. And you'll be able to pick up on some tips that I've learned along the way. And if any of you are going through this situation, or if any of these situations fit what you have done or you are going to get into, or whatever you want to take away from this episode, I hope this helps. So yeah, let's go. And I have all my questions here on my phone, so don't mind me. The first naughty or nice question is: sleeping with someone from work, naughty or nice? And when I tell you these questions are juicy, this is just the surface of it all. So sleeping with someone from work, what do I think about that? I would actually say that is naughty in more ways than one, if you know what I'm saying. But naughty in a way because I disagree that meddling with people you are working with is just not a good idea in general because there's a lot that goes behind that. But with that being said, I definitely had my share of experiencing that. And it's funny that I say that it's naughty, even though back then I was just doing whatever the hell I wanted. Yes, I would say it's naughty. I disagree. It just is very confusing and it's very unprofessional. I don't think anyone disagrees that it's a professional decision to sleep with someone from work. You're going to be running into each other at work more often than not. And, unless that forms into a relationship that ends up being fruitful for you at the end because it was a very enriching experience, or you actually get along with this person, or you really see a future with this person. If you're just doing it to sleep around, you just don't have any self-control. You are basically, towing the line between professionalism and, doing whatever you want, and you do you. I just disagree because that it comes with a lot of stuff behind that. If you sleep with someone from work, Like I mentioned, you will be seeing them a lot. And word will catch on, because who knows whether or not that person keeps to themselves. Even if they say they'll keep it a secret, is that even true? Do you even know this person well enough to be able to trust that they won't ruin your reputation? And I'm the type of person that's hardworking. I don't like to burn bridges at work, no matter what kind of drama is going on in my life, whether or not I really dislike somebody, whether or not they did me wrong. I will put on a brave face for the sake of professionalism, because at the end of the day, my career is my career and I'm after the bag. I don't give a damn if people want to, sabotage me. With that being said, without sidetracking too much, again, you can't trust this person that you've slept with unless, again, you can say that you can trust them. And word will get around whether you like it or not. Even though you do trust this person to not say anything, everyone can just see it in your face. Everyone can just see with the way you interact with each other. Everyone will just know, because there's just that air that people will pick up on that you think people don't, but they will. Actions speak louder than words. Body language is a giant percentage of our communication, and it is near impossible to hide the fact that something happened between you and some other person. You can even sense it yourself when you see other people around work. You tend to have these thoughts of like, are they not? But again, yes, you don't know what kind of circles they run around. You don't know whether or not these people have a connection to your boss or some other future prospect in your career journey that you'll get involved in. You don't know. And if things don't end amicably, or if things aren't mutual, it'll just be a messy situation overall. So I would just say that there's a lot more negative to the positive, and the positive is very short term. And depending on their performance, it could be really not worth your while. So I would say it's not worth it. Just again, the passion, the chase, the secrecy, the fantasy of it all, I know can be enticing. And when you're young and dumb, it just really is a boiling pot of a hot mess. But yeah, if you can prevent it, if this was your sign that you needed to say whether or not you were going to do it, I would say no. That's a naughty choice. Now, with that being said, I will spill a little bit of tea, but not too much tea, just a little bit to keep you guys warmed up. That was a choice I did end up going down. I was in the hospitality industry. I do say though, I don't know if this is completely true. I'm just speaking from my own experience, but I feel like the hospitality industry is meant for people to just connect, meant for people to bond, meant for people to go insane in a boiling pot of emotions. And things just happen on a whim. In the hospitality industry, which includes, hotels, restaurants, attractions in the city, you're very outgoing and you're very charismatic. You're in a group of people that love to be with people. So of course you're going to form these electric connections, and of course you're going to experience personalities that entice you and intrigue you, so on and so forth. But if you guys haven't seen my last episode where I talk about my hoe era, I kind of go over details there about essentially my thoughts of where I was in my life and why I ended up making the choices that I did. I was just in a place where I really got out of a bad relationship, and I was just doing whatever the heck I want, and it was just filling a void in me that never got filled whenever I made those bad decisions, and whenever I became unprofessional and became, the naughty person. So I just discourage it in general, but I'm also telling you that if you do it, I hope you learn from it. I hope you gain the insight on the decision you made, and if there's consequences, I hope you own up to it. I hope you're able to face the challenges that come with it after, because you've made that choice, you've followed through. And I am a big proponent for owning up to your mistake. Word just goes around. Word goes around because, in my experience, guys are stupid. Young guys are stupid. And especially, and again, this is totally tooting my horn. This is totally putting me on blast and gassing myself up because I deserve it. But yeah, if you are a beautiful young woman, if you are sure of yourself, if you are a confident person, if you walk around with your head held high and a bubbly spirit and positive, and somebody that just has good energy, they're going to want to brag about that. Whoever this person you ended up sleeping with, they're going to want to be like, oh yeah, I totally went there, I totally did that, blah 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 blah. And so I knew to myself that I wasn't expecting for a wildfire of communication to go around work, but that's just the way it is. Boys are stupid. They think this is a trophy. They just want to do whatever the hell they want to do to get credit, especially in that sphere and in that topic. Like, if you're a woman and some guy wants to come on to you at work and you consider yourself, a strong, confident woman that everyone gravitates towards, people will talk. People will talk, and that person is going to play games with your reputation. So I just would not go there. Just from my experience, don't go there. Yeah. It's a funny story. It's a funny story afterwards, but unless you just want to keep laughing for years, which I am, don't go there. All right, so the next question. Naughty or nice? Going after someone else's partner. Bombastic side eye. It's interesting. It's interesting because there's a lot of people who I find are comfortable with doing this. And there's a lot of people who are serial committers to this action. And it makes me really question. Again, I like to go into these things and I like to know people with an open mind. Even though I do have my own strong opinions, I go into it with an open mind and communicate without judgment, even though I do have judgment and, reserve my own thoughts because I'm entitled to my own opinion. That I won't say out loud if it hurts somebody. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say it. I'm not here to stir the pot. I'm not here to cause drama. But I am also here if you're asking for my advice and you're asking for me to tell you the truth and tell you like it is. I am there in 0.0001 second flat. I'm the first person to tell you why you are messing up and why you shouldn't do what you be doing. But anyways, back to the question. Going after someone else's partner. Like I said, I think there are just some people who pride themselves in doing this / this is their MO, like this is their pattern. This is how they get into relationships. And the reason why I say that is because I have run into so many people who think that way. Again, coming from the hospitality industry, you just run into a lot of personalities. But with that being said, there are way too many people who do this rather than don't, actually. If I think about it even more and I think about it deeper, I think there are a lot of people who just don't respect people's boundaries. There are a lot of people who don't respect people's relationships anymore. There's a lot of people who don't respect what a relationship means, what a committed relationship means. And so you all guys already know the answer based on what I'm saying. I just don't agree with it. It is naughty. With that being said, I know people who have done it. I know people who have been in that situation that are close people to me / people that I just know in passing that tell me these things that I don't want to know. But I really, again, trying to think with an open mind and trying to sympathize with this person. I do think there's certain characteristics that come with people who think that this is okay or normal. And a lot of it, a portion of why I think somebody does this is because there's just no confidence in the relationship that they're in, or no confidence in the decisions they make. They are often always looking for something better that they couldn't pull themselves. So when they see that someone else has something they want, it's more enticing to them because it gives them more validation when they can take it from someone else rather than them finding it on their own. And that's just my psychoanalysis. Again, sound off on the comments if I'm really calling you out and you feel offended. Honestly, let's have a discussion below. I am ready. Come prepared because I'm here with the bullet points. And yeah, I think that there's a sort of gratification that comes that these people get when they can succeed in doing something like that. When they can succeed in taking away someone's partner and making themselves feel more valuable, because in their own way, they're like, oh, this person chose me over them, over someone that they really loved. That must mean I am super special. That must mean I am such a jewel to behold, to be with. But you know what? It's not the case. It's not the case. If the truth is you took somebody that cannot commit to being serious or cannot commit to being loyal to their own person, what makes you think they're going to be loyal to you? That's the weird part of it. And maybe a lot of people are also just addicted to the competition. A lot of people are addicted to being number one, being the one that they chose, or being the one that got to steal away the prize. But yeah, I think there's a lot of internal discovery to be done when you feel like you need to steal someone else's partner. What do you think you would get out of that when you make someone else unhappy and heartbroken over taking their partner? I again think this is coming from a very selfish point of view. Dare I say a narcissistic mentality. But if you are okay with crushing someone else's soul and damaging them for years for the fact that you can just take their partner, that says a lot about you that I want to stay far away from. It's a very selfish mentality. It's a very selfish way of going about life, thinking that there's so many people in the world that you can choose from. There's so many people you can attempt to try to wrangle in, but for whatever reason, you want to choose from the garden that's already being watered. And you don't like your side of the garden enough to water it yourself, that you would rather not do the work at all for you and just cheat your way into getting something else. You know what? I don't know. Again, I hear that there are some relationships that have succeeded from this, but are you really proud about that? And in some ways, the people who do that and feel proud about it, that's just their mentality, and you guys do you. But long story short, I don't agree. And it is a nutty choice. All right, so question number 3. Ghosting people while dating. So, my short answer is naughty. I disagree. My long answer is I am a serial ghoster, and this is what I have done when I was single, and it's so bad. It's so bad. I know it's so bad. I'm a cold-hearted woman. I consider myself a little bit of a cold-hearted woman, and when I say that, it's because I can shut my feelings off pretty quick about something, about someone, when I choose to, when my mind is set on straight, or when I'm determined, I'm ready to just cut things off without, proper communication. And I know that's immature on my part. I totally agree. And I've learned past that. But sometimes I just Like, when I'm cold, I'm cold. It's cut and dry. It's clear for me. With that being said, I have been ghosted before too. And the odd part of it is because I am so cold and I'm so, quick to the point and just ready to cut to the chase. If someone ghosts me, it might give me anxiety for the day when they're not replying to me, or a week where I think, I give them some time to get back to me if they're doing something or whatever. And then when I realize I've been ghosted, I'm kind of just like, that sucks, but I guess they're not for me, done, whatever. I'm not going to cry about it. I'm not going to, be so butthurt about it. And I have been in situations where I've been really invested for a couple of months, or maybe even about to a year. And then all of a sudden I get ghosted. It hurts for maybe a day and maybe a week, depending on how long it was. But at the end, I'm kind of just like, screw you. Okay, I don't care. You decided to pass on me, then whatever. I have so much more of my life to live to end up sulking over this and being sad over this. You clearly didn't choose me, so I'm not going to choose to take my time and effort to think about it anymore. So that's just where I stand about that stuff. And I think a lot of people can take away some tips with that. Just, if someone ghosts you, is it even worth it? Like, they're not as great of a person you think they are if they ghost you. And that's totally calling myself out too, because I, at the time, again, when I was in my whole era of being lost and trying to find myself after a really bad relationship, I would ghost people. I just didn't care. I was so cold. I didn't give people the time or day to communicate with them effectively, or even care about their feelings enough when I didn't know if I wanted to be with them, or I didn't want to be with them at all. I didn't want to face the communication I had to go through to tell them that they're not the person, or I didn't even want to give them the time to find out whether or not we were going to continue something. And yeah, I'm very guilty of that. And yes, I was a very bad person to be with. I don't think I was worth it at the time. I don't think I was worth the time or effort to continue to even chase after being ghosted. And I would have definitely wasted your time. And I have. I would have definitely been the wrong choice for you. If I had ghosted you, that was the best decision for you at the time. So let's just say, when you get ghosted, don't take it so personally and don't get so hurt by it, because at the end of the day, that's your answer. They're just not worth it. If they can't even spend the time to communicate with you properly about your feelings and respect your feelings, it's coming from a very selfish place. It's coming from a very damaged place, coming from myself speaking. And they won't respect you. They're not the kind of people that will respect you. So move on. Coming from someone who's ghosted a lot, move on. I was not worth it. They will not be worth it until they grow. So anyways, being in a relationship in less than a month of dating, naughty or nice? Now, my short answer is actually nice. Now, let me dive into that. So I am a big proponent of making sure that you are 100% sure when you are dating somebody before you go into a relationship. With that being said, there are different maturity levels that people have in their life right now. And if you're at a point where you feel confidently mature, you're asking the right questions, you are doing the right things, you've done the work for yourself, and you know exactly what you're looking for, time can be cut short. There might be just a couple weeks where you're getting to know this person. They check off all the boxes for now, and you've asked all the questions that aren't a hard stop. I know you guys know what word I'm talking about. It'll come to me, just not right now. But if you know this person very much is hitting all your points and isn't raising all the red flags that you said you would avoid, then time can be cut short because you are already sure of yourself. You already know what you want. And if they've got a good head on their shoulders and they're not faking it, I feel like you if you are this person, you're at an emotionally intelligent place to be able to tell if this person is who they say they are and is mature enough as well. You would have had those intelligent conversations. You would have had those connections and those memories and those quality time spent together, getting to know this person enough to know whether or not they are worth it. And if they aren't, then you would spend more time then to find out whether or not you want to be in a relationship with this person. But if you are emotionally intelligent enough and mature enough to understand that they have crossed all the boxes, I would say you could go into the relationship. With that being said, also, like when you're in a relationship and you're dating for a couple of months, that doesn't mean you get to, like, once you're in a relationship, you're stuck. Like, you have to hold it out for a year at least to not be the laughing stock of the land. And, I kind of come from that place as well. I get those insecurities too, where I'm like, oh, just 3 months in a relationship? Do you even call it a relationship if you're only dating for a couple months or less than a year? I know for myself, I always had like a timeline in my head. If I hit a year, or if I'm under a year and things aren't going well, I'm like, oh, of course, it's that time. It's that time where I'm gonna mess it up, or they're gonna mess it up, or something's gonna go wrong. So again, there's no. With that being said, that it doesn't mean nothing. It's just coming from your insecurities. If you started to be in a relationship with someone and after a month or two, you find out this extremely big red flag, you're not stuck. You're not stuck. I know you're going to want to try to work through it and massage the red flags and see whether or not this person can change and grow past that flag. And if they don't, then you have your answer there. And if they do, then, it's might be worth continuing to iron out the relationship and see how the relationship will sustain. But yeah, you're not stuck. You're still getting to know them. And the first year of the relationship is actually really vital to continuing to get to know them. Because I think after you hit 3 months, this is just, again, gauging from experience and from other people's stories, that's when you start to see their true colors and their red flags and the things that they aren't fully healed from and they haven't worked on as much. And that's where, again, will be kind of your breaking point of deciding whether or not this person's for you, or if you need to keep looking, or if it's worth, working out with them, or if it's worth healing together from. So I would just say time in a dating phase is nuanced because it really depends on your maturity levels and your confidence in what you want out of a relationship and how they have grown and what they want in a relationship and how sure they are. So yeah. And I am just going to go to the very last question, which is another relationship question. The last question being, having a break during a relationship, naughty or nice? I would disagree. This is a naughty decision. And this again could be controversial for some people. I don't think that having a break in a relationship is healthy because and I'm just going to be the bearer of bad news if this is news for you or if you needed to hear it for extra solidification. When people have the opportunity to open their palette to other people and explore the horizons with other people, they will. And depending on how long you guys have been in a relationship, I don't care if you think that their personality is the type that isn't going to do it, or I don't care if you think that you know this person enough, or they don't seem the type to do this. They will. They will. They will, and you shouldn't factor that out. You really shouldn't, hold on to the hope of what you want to be true, because it's not up to you. And you can't get mad at them for when they explore their options because you decided to go on a break. I think that, as mature as someone can be and as respectful as someone can be, if you lay out the ground rules of what a break means, which I should start by saying, if your break means you don't get to sleep with people, you don't get to date around, you are just trying to find yourself, then that's something else. But even then, it's saying, I want to break from this relationship, so we're not in a relationship. Because essentially what a break means is that you're not in the relationship anymore, right? For a certain amount of time. So that means you are single. And if you are single, that means you are up for grabs. You're on the market. You're out and about in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So I would say a break is unhealthy because your options are open and their options are open. And the rules of that are so blurry. They're so gray. There's no rules to a break because you're not in a relationship. You're not meant to be committed to this person anymore. And this person's not meant to be committed to you. So I don't understand when people take breaks. I do hear sometimes that people have done it and then they've come back together and, the show, what's it called? Not Love is Blind, but The Ultimatum. The show The Ultimatum exists for this exact reason. You are taking a break from your relationship to see whether or not you guys can come back even stronger. But I don't think that it's healthy. I mean, I've seen a couple episodes, and again, this is reality TV, so I shouldn't really be comparing, but they don't seem like healthy people to begin with if you are wanting to take that break and explore other people and then come back to each other. If you guys decide to break up and then after a certain amount of time realize that you guys are meant for each other, then that's a different story. But if someone ends up going into something and says, I need a break from all this, our relationship needs a break, I need a break. Just slap him in the face. That's a joke. Hypothetically slap them in the face, because that makes no sense. What does it mean? Does that mean you get to explore your options? Are you going to be mad if I explore my options? Are we still exclusive? Does that mean I have to wait for you until you make your decision? And girl, I am not a person that waits for somebody. I am not the person that has the patience for you to figure it out whether or not you want me. And you got to the point that you think you didn't want me. So no, if you're already deciding that you don't want me and you want a break from this, then it's over. It's over. Let's just have a conversation and say that this relationship is over. List the reasons that you think it's going to be over and then just be done with it. I don't think it's worth having a break just to come back to it on weird terms, because the break itself is on weird terms. Does that make sense? Anyways, without going too much on a tangent, I disagree. This is a naughty decision. Just FYI. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed the tea that came with this episode as well. I hope you got some takeaways about my thoughts on certain decisions. I hope I didn't judge you guys too much, but this is again an open space for all of us to voice our opinions. I'm happy to discuss with you down below. If you feel like you disagree, I would love to hear it. And we can kind of go from there. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching another episode of my podcast, and I hope you guys all have a lovely holiday season, and I think I will see you guys in the new year. If I don't post another episode, then I hope you guys have a lovely new year, and I'll see you in 2024. Have a good one. Thank you. Bye.